Everybody kind of come on in. It sounds like there are people out in the hallway still we need to invite in. We'll jump in. We've got a whole bunch of folks online that have joined us. We're grateful for that. We're here on an exciting day. So let me begin by welcoming each and every one of you, whether you're sitting here with us in the church auditorium or you have zoomed in through Zoom or whatever tool we're using today. We welcome you to Southern Utah University. This is a wonderful day. It's been months in the making, and we're grateful to be here to announce a new athletic director for Southern Utah University. My name is Marvin Dodge, and I was asked by the president a number of months ago to chair the search committee to find the most qualified athletic director we could find. And we've done that, so we're proud today to be here to have this announcement. I'm grateful for a search committee of 14 individuals that we pulled together from every corner of campus and the community to try to make sure every voice was heard and every opinion expressed. And I can assure you through this process of several months that they have done well at representing their individual area of influence, department, or group. And so I'm grateful to them. Many of them are here today. Can I have any of you that served on the committee just please stand so we can recognize you. Thank you very much. I also want to thank, and Glenn, if you want to stand, Glenn Sugiyama. I've worked with Glenn through this process. We decided to hire a search firm who would go out and actively recruit on our behalf. And as a committee, we defined those critical elements we were looking for. And many of you are not surprised that we need somebody we hope will be a little more long-term and join us in the community and be engaged with our wonderful alumni and donors and boosters and others who have such a love for athletics. We wanted somebody who would put athletic achievement and accomplishment at the top of that list. I've heard a lot through this process. Athletics isn't the most important thing on campus, but it is very important. And the thing that is most important is to ensure that our athletes leave SUU with a degree prepared to enter into the workforce and to work well in a professional career. But we also have some facility needs, and we heard that loud and clear through our forum groups. For those of you that have been at our football stadium, you know that needs some, not just tender loving care, but needs to be replaced, quite frankly. So this is one of the tasks that we've talked about in that process of selecting a new athletic director. We had an exceptional number of outstanding candidates. As a committee, we were impressed and amazed, quite frankly, at how many folks expressed interest in Southern Utah University and coming to join the Thunderbird family. And it actually made our task a little bit more challenging. Of all that applied for the position, as a committee, we reviewed all of those applications over the Thanksgiving break, I might add, so my thanks again to the committee. We invited 11 individuals to a Zoom interview, which was our first round of interviews. From there, we narrowed it down to 6 individuals that we invited to face-to-face interviews in Las Vegas, and we concluded those with a recommendation to President Benson, and here we are today with the result of those efforts. Now, I'd be remiss, and I'm not going to talk long because there are more important people than me, but I did want to brag for a little bit. Been a number of highlights in SUU athletics this last year, and I think it's worth mentioning, and we look forward to even greater success in the months and years ahead. This last year, SUU joined the Western Athletic Conference. This past year, the men's basketball team had the best record in the state of Utah. What a great accomplishment. Yeah. The track and field had 9 student athletes qualify for the NCAA regionals. Our men's cross-country team finished 2nd in the WAC championship. Our gymnastics team, the Flipping Birds, went to regionals for the 9th year in a row, and volleyball made the WAC tournament. These are great accomplishments and a great foundation to build from, and we look forward to that happening. With that, I'm going to turn the time over to President Mindy Benson, and we'll take it from there. please let me just make this note as well. When we have finished, and we'll hear from our new athletic director and he'll field questions. When that is finished, we are happy to take as many photos as family, friends. We'd love to have all the coaches and folks from athletics come and get a photo with the new athletic director. So hang around when we finish up. President Benson.
Thank you all for joining us today. We are excited at this monumentous hire for us. Excited to move Thunderbird Athletics forward and excited for the future that we have ahead of us. I want to thank Marvin Dodge and the work that he put in. I know he recognized the search committee, but I know it was a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of effort and heartache and tears and happiness and everything that goes on with a search. So thank you all. Thanks to Glenn. Thanks for Marvin for heading it up. And I want to thank our student athletes and our coaches and our athletic staff for getting involved in the process and making their voices heard and making sure that we knew what they needed to succeed in athletics. So thank you all for being involved, and to our community and our alumni who always come and be part of what we're doing. When we set out on this after Debbie announced her retirement, we had to go in and think, okay, what do we want in the new athletic director? And we talked to multiple constituencies and listened to athletic staff and students and coaches to see what they wanted. It was important to me that we had somebody with a great background in not only administration, but fundraising, facilities, and being able to overhaul our facilities and bring us to where we need to be successful. And student success. Those were all important to me, and I think you'll see that we have found that here today. I'll read some bio information, and by the way, this is the worst kept secret. It went across D1 ticker. Hello. This morning at 8:30, so it's out there. But I want to read some bio information and talk a little bit about the qualifications. As you know, our new athletic director will be Doug Knuth. He has nearly 30 years of experience in intercollegiate athletics. He has a focus on people, student success, coaches, staff, community, and alumni, and has a proven record in outreach. He has 9 years as a Division I Director of Athletics and came to us from the University of Nevada, Reno. He has served as a Director of Athletics over 400 student athletes, 16 athletic programs, and 150 staff and coaches. He has raised nearly $100 million in 9 years at the University of Nevada, including the largest gifts in school history. And at the University of Utah, he launched a $150 million comprehensive campaign and doubled the Utes' annual fundraising fund in 5 years. He has played a role in 2 school transitions into new conferences, the University of Utah into the Pac-12 and the University of Nevada to the Mountain West Conference. He has expertise in unique areas, and we are excited to see what he can bring to SUU. I have tremendous faith in Doug and look forward to him taking SUU athletics to the very next level that we can go and hire in the years to come. He has a great track record of success, and I know that he will take us where we're all trying to get to in the success of Thunderbird Athletics. So I would like to introduce to you Doug Knuth. Doug, come on out. Thank you. And I would like to introduce his family. Marcy is sitting down, and his family from Bunkerville has made the trip to be here with us today. So everyone wave to them. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you. We wanted to welcome you to the SUU campus and make sure SUU looks good on you.
Nice. It's official. All right. Look at that. Of course. All right, thank you. Here. All right. Well, thank you for that incredible introduction and obviously warm welcome here today. It's been an awesome day, just starting early in the morning and meeting with coaches and staff and student athletes, and just spent the last hour with the president's cabinet and some tremendous people at this university, and I'm thrilled to be joining your team at the university, and thrilled to be joining our coaches and student athletes here in Thunderbird Athletics. And before I get into my comments, if you don't mind, I want to go off script a little bit. And I know this is a celebratory moment. This is a big moment for us. But I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge and didn't recognize the loss of a great person in college athletics, the loss of our friend, colleague, football coach, Mike Leach. And many of you know Mike has ties to as the head coach at Texas Tech and Washington State, Mississippi State, but you may also know that he also has deep ties to the state of Utah. Mike was a graduate of BYU and really started his inspiration in coaching, learning from legends Lavelle Edwards and Hal Mumme, and was really innovative in developing the air raid offense from his times at BYU. And so I think it's really important. It's local ties as an alum of one of our schools in this state. Important to remember and keep Mike and his family, his wife, his kids, his grandkids in our hearts and in our minds today. Obviously, as we all like to say, rest in peace, Coach. And until we meet again, Coach Leach. President Benson, I'm so thrilled. Like, this is a dream come true in a lot of ways, to be at a great institution like Southern Utah, to be at a place where my family can be more active and more involved. It's just incredibly special for us, and we're thrilled to be here today. And as you'd expect, I've been doing my homework. I've been doing my research on the university, on the community, on the athletics program, reading everything I can find about the institution, about the community, and watching a lot of social media videos. And your communication staff should be commended. They do a tremendous job showing all the energy, the enthusiasm, the excitement that's happening across this campus. It comes across great in social media. And especially blown away by one social media post I saw. I don't know if you'll recall this, or you might know this person, but it's an alum who was explaining his experience here on this campus and used the word magic to describe the personal connections, the level of care and concern provided to him as a student when he was on campus, decades ago, the care and concern provided by the faculty, the staff, and the administration. The word magic, right? Can you believe? I mean, it's not a normal word you'd hear someone explain or talk about their alma mater, magic. And that struck me. That really caught my attention. I mean, there's a lot of people that love this place and had great experiences here, but to say magic is something special about this campus. And so as I continue to watch and pay attention to things, I saw over and over and over again that there's something truly special happening in Cedar City. And I believe this magic, as described in the social media video, is really powered by your vision, your energy, your deep love of this campus and this community. And I think, when the president powers that vision and powers that magic, you've got something special. But it doesn't stop there, right? It doesn't stop there. Can't be one person. I truly believe if the president is powering that magic, that vision, you have faculty and staff who are driving it every day. All of our staff, faculty, researchers across campus, right? The president's powering it, the faculty and staff are driving it. And what's really special here, right? I've sensed it already, and I know this from family members who are alumni. The alumni, the boosters, and the community are supporting that. So the president is powering this feeling, this sense, this magic. Faculty, staff are driving it, and you have this great community of alumni and community members who are supporting it. And when you have that kind of alignment, you really have something special. And it doesn't happen at every university. It doesn't happen at every campus. You have something really, really special here. And I can't wait to be part of it. I mean, it's when you watch that from afar, whether you're being recruited as a faculty or staff member, or being recruited as a student athlete or as a student in the student body, like that comes across, and it makes it exciting to want to come to school here and come to work here. Something special. So I can't wait to get started. Can't wait to get going. And while I'm sort of talking about special, I do want to take a moment to recognize and thank someone in our staff that's just done a tremendous job and probably doesn't get enough recognition. It certainly works his butt off, but I think the staff led by Todd Brown in this interim period, right? Being interim anything is hard. It's hard work because you're wearing multiple hats, and it's he probably wears multiple hats to start with, but every one of our coaches, all the staff and administration, my hat's off to you for doing such a good job during this interim period, because I know it's not easy, but I do want to thank you, Todd, and great job. Appreciate it. Yeah. All right. I also want to thank a longtime friend of mine who led the search in DHR Global, Glenn Sugiyama. Glenn and I have known each other for a long time, and his team, Eric, Tedrick, Morgan, just did a phenomenal job managing, keeping the search moving forward. The communication, the professionalism is the best. And if you don't know Glenn is renowned. He's just known throughout the country, throughout our industry, throughout our profession, for being the best at sourcing really great candidates for jobs. And he puts universities in position to have successful searches and successful hires by finding great candidates. So Glenn, thank you so much for your work, and thank you so much to your staff and everything they've done. It's been amazing working with them. So thank you so much. I've been involved in a lot of searches throughout my career, on both sides of the table, frankly, as a candidate and also as a hiring manager and decision maker in hiring people. So I've led a lot of searches and been involved in a lot of searches, and I can tell you a lot of experience that this search was run about as well as any search I've ever seen. And that credit goes not only to DHR Global and Glenn, but that credit goes to Marvin Dodge as the chair of the search committee and all the members of the search committee. I'll tell you, it was run about as efficient, as seamless, and about as professional of any search I've ever seen, and certainly any search I've been involved in. So Marvin, thank you so much for your work to make that happen. I also want to thank, there's a lot of people in this industry, in our profession in college athletics, that are dear friends, colleagues, mentors around the country. I've worked for some great athletic directors in my career. Chris Hill at Utah, just an unbelievable run at the University of Utah and what he did there over the years. Mark Hollis at Michigan State's a dear, dear friend and a guy I look up to and one of my mentors. Thomas Bay, Bob Markham, Jeff Hathaway, Lou Perkins. Like, these are all major ADs that I've had a chance to work with and work for, and I call them all my dear friends, and many of them are mentors. But there's so many other people, ADs, colleagues, commissioners, coaches, presidents, and a lot of former teammates. I consider everyone administrative teammates at Nevada and Utah and Michigan State, Ohio, UMass, UConn, where I started, even at sort of our industry organizations, Lead One, NACDA, the NCAA, friends at all places, where I'm just incredibly grateful for the opportunity that I've learned from them. I've grown in my career. A lot of those folks have held me accountable and challenged me to be better than what I thought I could be, and I'm just incredibly grateful. It's incredibly humbling, actually, to know that there's so many people out there that are always willing to lend support, to answer the phone when I call. Like, they still answer the phone when I call, even though I bug them all the time, and provide advice. I mean, this is truly a special profession, and I'm just so lucky to be in this job and in this profession, in this world of so many great people. It's just special. So I also want to thank my family. They're all here today. Marcy, my amazing wife, greatest friend and life partner and advisor. Like I get a lot of free advice. It's not free. You know, greatest spouse a guy could ever ask for. I just, I wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't be here today together if it weren't for you. So thank you so much. I love you so much. Thank you. And our beautiful kids. We have 5 kids together, and they're super active in school and sports, and they couldn't be here with us today. So I don't know if they're watching. We'll send them a link or maybe later. But Haley, Gabby, Brock, Lance, Aiden, they're just special. I can't wait to get them here in the community and get them plugged into everything here at Southern Utah. Just want to make sure they know they make Marcy and I the luckiest parents in the world, and we love them so much. And then my Bunkerville family, as you introduced them, it's the right way to say it or not, but we have many family members and a lot of friends really in Southern Utah and Southern Nevada, and some of them are here today. A very small percentage, I think, of them are here today from Bunkerville, from Mesquite, from St. George, and I know I've just learned we have a few more alumni, SUU alumni in the family I didn't know about. So I promise you, all of the longtime Thunderbird fans and SUU alumni, we've just added like 3 or 4 dozen more Thunderbird fans into the community. So thank you guys for being here today. It means a lot. So I'll close today with just a short thought about who I am and what you all can expect from me going forward. And I really look forward to joining President Benson and her administration. And I can't say this enough, and the coaches and staff that were here this morning heard a piece of this already. I'm going to bring a steady and consistent focus on 2 simple but really important words that illustrate what we will stand for, how we will operate, what will be important to us, what we will value. Two simple words that will be spoken and thought of constantly. These 2 words will drive our ambitions. They will lead our decisions, and they will be the core of everything we do. And these 2 words are really simple. Student success. Student success, right? Shouldn't be that hard. But I mean, I've worked at 6 different universities across the country, and all similar public, state, land grant, many of them large, and not everyone, including my alma mater, which I love, didn't understand student success. And that's going to be sort of our mantra. That's going to be our focus. We're going to talk about that a lot. The greatest coaches, the greatest administrators, both athletic and university administrators I've ever been around, are deeply focused on student success. And I believe if we are all focused on that, we're all aligned, and we work hard every day in support of student success, we will build a championship program, right? We will build champion students in the classroom. We'll have champion leaders in our community, and we'll have champions for life. When we invest in our students, into student success, we will be building champions for life. And that's the essence of what we do, right? That's why we're in higher education. And that has to be part of the athletics mantra as well. This is truly our calling. It's our North Star, right? Student success. You'll hear that a lot. And T-Bird Nation, and that's everyone, right? Everyone listening, everyone here, all members of our community, our alumni, especially our former athletes, near and far. We're going to invite you to partner and participate in supporting student success. In fact, our goals, our dreams, they're not attainable without you, right? So I hope everyone listening, I hope everyone at home might be watching this understands that. I'll say it again, like our dreams, our goals are not attainable without you. We need you. We need to be partners in this, and together we can do it. In fact, we will deliver a plan for success. And if we're all aligned, each of us, excuse me, starting with university administration, our coaches, our alumni and community, if we're all aligned in support of the plan for student success, we will build a program that can accomplish the previously unthinkable. I truly believe that. All goals and dreams are possible when we work together, unified, T-Bird Nation, focused on student success. I've always believed there's something special or something unique in life about being at the right place at the right time. And a lot of times in life, you don't even know it until maybe reflect years later. And I truly believe President Benson's leadership, I truly believe this is the right place at the right time for really special things to happen. And I can't wait to get started. Like, I can't wait to get here and do this. I'll close by wishing you all a very, very Merry Christmas. And again, I'll thank you for your incredible support of Southern Utah University and of Thunderbird Athletics. Thank you all so much. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Doug, while you're coming over to sit down, I would be remiss if I didn't also acknowledge Todd Brown. Todd, do you want to stand up and, well, too bad. Thank you so much for your work. Todd kept the ship running smoothly in what could have been a very rocky period, and you did a tremendous job for us. And I recognize how difficult it is to step in as interim. So thank you so much for all your work. Thank you to the staff and to the teams and to the coaches. I think you will agree with me after hearing from Doug and hearing his bio and maybe reading some and researching, SUU's punching above our weight with this hire. We were lucky to land him, and he brings a tremendous amount of credibility and national credibility and respect to SUU. We're grateful to have him here. With that, we will open it up to any questions that you may have, and I hope most of them are for Doug. Jeff, I know you have something.
First, meaning like tomorrow morning? Yes, first. We had a question earlier today, is sort of what's on the agenda? What does the first 30, 60, 90 days look like? And you know, there's no question in my mind, everyone in this room knows more about Southern Utah University and Thunderbird Athletics and Cedar City than I do. And so I've got to get out and talk to our coaches, talk and listen to our student athletes. I've got to get out in the community and talk to our influential, our boosters and our friends about the tradition, the history, what makes us important, what makes us special, what makes us great, what makes us unique, and learn. I'll learn a lot very, very quickly. And but that transitions into what I think what you're really asking is the plan. And I think, and I don't ever like to say like it's a 30-day or a 60-day or 90 days or some time frame within that. It's we've got to put together our plan with university administration, with our coaches about where we want to go. And then obviously the next question is how do we and what do we need to do to get there? But that's the first. We've got to have a plan. You know, I sort of was kidding this morning with the staff about Winnie the Pooh. Is, you know, we all kind of know this guy Winnie the Pooh. He wanders through the woods and never knows where he's going and what he's doing and where he's going to end up, and he doesn't care, right? But we can't operate like that. We've got to have a plan. We've got to have steps along the way, goals to where we want to go. So it's going to be a very inclusive process. These two folks, the university administration, and all the coaches and student athletes have a voice in what this program should look like and how we're going to get there. It's never the seas. Come on. Watch any tape of the administrators? No. So I don't. I don't coach. I watch, of course. You know, I was amazed, maybe with Coach Fitzgerald in his first year. Just did a fantastic job. throughout football season. And didn't win every game, but every game was competitive and was in it. And I think did a fantastic job. And we're men's and women's basketball mid-season yet, Coach? No, not yet. We're getting close. Probably you're probably feeling it with your voice and stuff, right? I watch and pay attention, of course, to scores and pay attention to what's going on. And I haven't had a chance to really dig in deep yet, right? Because until 24 hours ago, I didn't know, this was happening. So, but yeah, I pay attention. I watch and see who the coaches are, what their backgrounds are, what their areas, and how they've done over the years, and certainly pay attention. I've got a lot of friends that are in the WAC, athletic directors in the WAC conference, and so I've talked to them and sort of got a sense of what they think of Southern Utah and what they think the sort of upside and what they think is possible, and so I've got some outsider's perspective so far, but I don't have an insider's perspective yet.
Hi, Doug. My name is Mark Weaver from KSL TV. I know you talked about this a little bit in your remarks earlier, but to the core, what was it that attracted you to Southern Utah University?
Great question. Thank you for letting me explain that more, right? So it's probably been a couple years ago now. My wife Marcy and I talked about what's next in our career, in my career, and what's next for our family. And we really came down to three things that were important to us. As to, I think I was 7 or 8 years in at Nevada and just thinking about what would make sense for next. And we talked about the important things to us. One was family. Wherever we went next, we wanted to be closer to family. That's obviously really important to us. And so whether it's closer to my family in the East Coast or closer to her family here, that was something important to us and something that we wanted to make sure happened. And a lot of that's not just for us, but for our kids, and have our kids be closer to cousins and closer to grandma and everyone else. So that was really important. That's number one. The second piece, equally important, was I wanted to be somewhere where I feel like I could make an impact. Like my knowledge, my background, my skills, could make an immediate or quick impact on a university or on an athletics program, and that would make sense to me. Because there's big schools, there's big places, and there's things that you can look at and go to where that's a freight train running down the tracks, and you may or may not be able to make a big impact. And so I think this makes a lot of sense. And the third one, I'm trying to what I'm thinking now. There was a third one, I'm blanking on it right now, but it was along the same lines. It was something that was really important to us personally to be at a university where it was really important for me to work with and for great people. Like that's in essence. Like you have to love coming to work every day. You have to love the people you're sort of in the trenches with every day. And that's the president, it's the senior administration, it's the coaches. You have to really have a good sense of that, of who you're working with and working for. And if you have that, then it's special. And so family, working with and for great people, and then a place where I think I can make a good impact and move the program forward in a big way. So, and that's why when you look at it, I mean, Southern Utah is absolutely perfect for us, and we just couldn't be more excited to be here and be part of this program.
Yeah, hi. Would you be willing to tell us a little bit about your vision for fundraising for our institution when it comes to athletics? Working with our community, with our boosters, even going outside of our community around here to try to see what we can accomplish with fundraising for the athletic department.
Yeah, that's the heart of the matter, right? That's kind of one of the big, the $64,000 question. The second part really is important. Is I think you're right about the community. I promised. I've told the president. I've told everyone I've talked to. My goal is to be in Salt Lake City, 1 or 2 days every month. My goal is to be in Las Vegas 1 or 2 days every month. Because there's a lot of people in those areas that care about this university. They went to school here and had a great experience, and they want to give back and they want to support. But here's the crazy part: they've never been asked, right? No one's come to visit them or called them or seen them, and I love doing that. So that's sort of the second part. I think you have to expand. You have to be out in those 2 metro areas to see more alumni and more people that have been engaged and involved in this university. The first thing about a plan is, it's absolutely essential for us to be out in the community as much as we can. And we've got to have the right staff and the right people that are engaging and inviting alumni to participate in what we're doing, right? Because there's a lot of alumni out there that have busy lives, and there's 1,001 other charities they could support, really worthy charities they could support. But we've got to get in front of those folks and build a relationship and build a trust with them. Because if you know fundraising and you've been involved in fundraising at all, most of the time, most larger gifts and larger donors and contributors, they give to people. It's people giving to people. It's not people giving to necessary organizations but there has to be a trust and a relationship, and there's only one way to do that. There's only one way to really build those kind of relationships is to get out and go see people and spend time with people and build those relationships. And the more I can do that, the more our staff can do that. Our coaches have to be adept at that and educated and trained on how to do that. We're going to have success in that area. We have to. And as I said in my comments before, we have a vision. We're going to have a plan. And if we can get our alumni, our friends, our community to participate and support that plan, we can achieve anything. I mean, really, the goals are unlimited. I mean, you can do everything you want to do if you have the right plan and there's people that are excited about it and engaged in it and believe in the same vision. So it's going to be a lot of work. There's no question about that. There's no way to hide from that. It is boots on the ground. It is door to door, not door to door, but it's knocking on the right doors and seeing people that are excited about what's happening at this university. They're excited about what's happening in the athletics program, and they want to get involved. And I told kind of an anecdote before earlier with the president's cabinet. Is in my career in fundraising, I think out of every 10 people, alumni, friends, community members that I've met with to talk to them about supporting the university or supporting the athletic department, out of every 10 people I've asked to help, I think 7 or 8 maybe have said yes. And out of those 8 people that have said yes, like 6 of them said, you know what? I've always wanted to give back. I've always wanted to do something special for my alma mater, but no one's ever asked me. And that's a little bit heartbreaking because you have all these people out there that had a great experience here and that love what this university stands for, and they love the education, they love what happens here, but we've got to get out there and ask. We've got to get out there and build that relationship and that trust and not be afraid to ask them to support, because I think a lot of people are going to say yes, because this is a special place and people care about Southern Utah University.
There's a question online about supporting and honoring women's programs within the athletic department.
That's a fantastic question. Thank you online, whoever that is. I'd like to know who that is, but that's a huge deal for us. And the president and I talked earlier today about what happened with the NCAA a couple of years ago. I think it's 2 years ago now in the NCAA Final Four, the basketball tournaments, men's and women's. And you may not remember this, but there was a student athlete on the women's basketball team at the University of Oregon who tweeted out a picture of I think it was the food or the weight room or something that they had access to on the women's side, the women's Final Four. And there was a comparison made to what the men's Final Four had. And there's this huge discrepancy, like huge difference. And everyone in America went like, wow, that's not what anyone wants. Like, that's a terrible, terrible situation. And most of us didn't know. I mean, I don't know how many of us have ever participated or played in the women's Final Four or been a coach at those. Not a lot of us have. So I don't think a lot of us were aware of that. But boy, thanks to that student athlete, we all became really aware of it. And I was on the NCAA Division I Council when that happened, and we hired a law firm to do an investigation to sort of look into the differences between men's and women's basketball Final Fours and how we can adjust and make difference there. And that report came back, and then we hired them again to do a deeper dive into other sports, into the baseball and softball and the tennises and golfs and everything else. But what we learned about that is if there is a discrepancy, if there is a difference, like we've got to be paying attention to that. And President Benson and I talked about that. That's something I'm going to look at from day one, is how are we doing that here? And what are we doing to make sure that we're treating our women's athletes the same as our men's athletes? It's so incredibly important. I've got daughters. A lot of us have daughters. We want our daughters to have the same opportunity as our sons, right? It's not that hard. And for us at the university, we've got to pay attention to that every single day. And if there is any kind of difference or separation, then we've got to make the adjustments, and we've got to ask for help and support to make those differences. So the neat thing about that is now, and I've seen this at Nevada more than I saw at any other school I've ever worked at, but there are a lot, and I don't know what a lot means. That's a terrible term to use. I shouldn't say that. But there are a number of female philanthropists across the country that want to invest in college athletics and women's college athletics. And that's a big deal. That's a really big deal, because they understand the importance. They understand what that means for girls who play sports, and the what that leads to in leadership opportunities, what that leads to in career, what that leads to in future earnings for women that play high school sports and college sports. It's a difference maker. And so my hope is that we have some people in the community, we have some people that we have access to that will help and support women's athletics, just like everyone helps and supports men's athletics. And that'll be our goal. That's what we'll do.
How do you plan to make athletic events a fun and exciting environment that students want to come to and help support the athletes?
So are you a current student? Thank you for that question. It's like, I love that question, because one of the things that's great, capital GREAT, is students at athletic events. Like it makes the environment, it makes the atmosphere, it makes it special, because you go to a lot of professional sporting events and it's an unbelievable athleticism and it's unbelievable experience, but I don't think it's the same as having a college band and a college student section going crazy during a game. There's nothing like it. And the energy, the excitement, the enthusiasm carries over to the alumni, right? Sort of older folks like me that, kind of giggle and laugh and go like, look at the student section, look how fun that is. That's so cool. Like we've got to have that. And so we talked about it during the search process. We talked about it with the committee, talked about it with some of the coaches, is we've got to partner. The athletic department has to partner with student activities and student clubs on campus to serve and support them, to be part of what they're doing, to help them grow, to help them advance their programs. Because we can't just be the department that says, hey, come to our game, come support us, but we don't support you, and we don't support your programming and your activities. It's got to be a two-way street. And if it is, you build a partnership, right? A partnership's never one way. That's not even, it's a different word. It's not partnership. It's got to be both ways, right? And so you'll see me, there's a thing at the University of Nevada, they do the first week of school returns, they do they call it the Wolf It Down pancake feed. Pancakes. So all the freshmen are invited, and most other students show up too, but it starts at midnight, the day or before the first classes start. I don't know if that's exactly the day, but it's a day or two before the first, but it's at midnight. And guess who was there all 9 years he worked at the University of Nevada, flipping and making pancakes for all the students, right? And so we had our teams come out, and they were out there flipping and making pancakes and serving pancakes to students, and it was a blast. I mean, I'm 50 years old, and I'm out midnight to like 2 a.m. flipping pancakes, and it was a hard. The next day was a hard day going to the office, but the energy, the excitement, the enthusiasm, but the student body government loved it because they knew that athletics cared and supported and was willing to partner and be part of their activities, and they were more willing to come be part of the athletic activities. So So we're going to do that. We're going to do that a lot. So thank you. That's a great question. Thank you. And I think that the band, marching band is back, and it sounds like we have a really great director that's continuing to invest and build the band. And there's something special. I'm not a music person at all. Like I have nothing. I have no gift in music. It's embarrassing. Can't dance either. Sorry, honey. But I love college bands. I mean, it's something special about the energy and the enthusiasm, the excitement that they produce at sporting events. It's just unique to college sports. So I love that the band is back. Oh, Marv, I give away one of my secrets. I told Marvin one of my dreams, and I haven't been able to find it yet, is pregame national anthem to have someone play the electric guitar like Jimi Hendrix did. Remember the famous Jimi Hendrix national anthem? I mean, I think that would just blow the roof off the place. I just think that would be the coolest thing ever. And if we have anyone in the community, I know this is a really talented community here on this campus. If there's anyone that can play that, let me know. I'd love to have you over.
Okay, for Marvin and Mindy, what was it about Doug that had him standing above the other candidates?
Wow. Okay. Having read through resumes for 43 applicants, we narrowed it down to those that really met those criteria. They're going to focus on students. They're going to focus on academics. Are they going to focus on the community? Can they focus on fundraising? Can they help us with facilities? Those really were the big 5 issues. And so we were able to narrow that field. Now there were still a lot because we really looked at 23 quite seriously. As I mentioned, we narrowed it down to Zoom interviews with 11 very, very qualified individuals, and then the half a dozen that we brought in at Vegas. And those folks we brought into Vegas had impressive resumes. One of the things that I really appreciated, because I had the chance to meet with all the applicants, not just in the committee setting, but one-on-one in an individual interview. And every interaction that I've had with Doug through the interview process and in numerous phone calls over the last several days, back and forth, is this wonderful demeanor. He's always just very calm, very enthusiastic, very positive, always talking about what can be accomplished and what we can do together and where we can take athletics, and really has this dream and vision about where SUU athletics can go and how successful the athletes can be. And that just won me over, quite frankly, because it is about our athletes. It's about having a fun college experience. I love the Jimi Hendrix story that he shared as part of it, because I just think that would be an awesome event. And we've talked a lot with the candidates about that game day experience and making sure it's fun, that it's entertaining. It's not just coming to watch a basketball game or a softball game or football game, but come and have fun. Have fun as a community. Look forward to some unique event that would draw people in that process. And I was impressed. I didn't know this until we were meeting with the coaches and the athletes this morning. Unlike me, he's indicated, I've never raised my voice and yelled at somebody. And I have to admit, that's not a skill I've mastered yet. But as I get more senile, it'll probably become easier. And I think that was a great statement about who Doug Knuth is, quite frankly, and his demeanor and how he will administer the athletics program and work with coaches, and especially his work with athletes. It's just top notch.
For me, first and foremost, I trust the process and wanted to go through the process and see what candidates rose to the top. I trust the committee, and I knew that they would bring me the most qualified. What I have enjoyed in learning about Doug and in my time with him is learning about his breadth and depth of experience in all 5 of those areas that Marvin listed. Whether it's academics or student experience or facilities or fundraising, he has those the depth and breadth of experience that I think will make an impact at SUU pretty immediately and bring our team where we want them to go with SUU athletics, which is we want our program to thrive and we want our university to thrive. And I think Doug can bring the team together to put us in that direction. So his breadth and depth of experience in all 5 of those areas that we were looking for, and trusting the process and trusting the committee, he emerged as the clear athletic director for Southern Utah University in this. Other questions? Here's your chance. Looks like we are ready to wrap up. So with that, thank you for joining us today. Students in the room, good luck on your finals. Faculty, good luck with grading your finals. Thank you all for all you do for SUU and for our community and for our athletic teams and for Thunderbird Athletics. We are appreciative of Marvin and the committee and the work that they did, of Todd and the work that he did. Thor, thanks for joining us. I think we need a picture with you and Doug, so come on down. And to Doug and his family, thank you. And welcome to the Thunderbird family. We're thrilled to have you here. Thanks for joining us today.